Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I have my first list video of 2020. I'm going to be talking about my top 5 albums of the year, and also going to go through some honorable mentions before we get started. So without further ado, let's get through the honorable mentions just for some albums that I enjoyed this year. Before I get into this, I just want to preface that I have not listened to every album, and there's a few big ones that I'm missing that I still want to listen to, like Chromatica by Lady Gaga, Fine Line by Harry Styles, and especially Disco by Kylie Minogue. I really want to listen to that, but I still haven't. So these are out of the albums that I did listen to in 2020. These are the albums the album has to come out in 2020, so if it's a 2019 album and it had charting in 2020, it doesn't count. It has to come out in 2020. Let's go. Let's do some honorable mentions. After Hours by The Weeknd. So this was one of the albums I heard in the year right around the time that quarantine started, and I was really kind of in a moody mood. I wasn't feeling too good. And After Hours was a really nice downbeat listen. It was something nice and soothing to put on. I am not the biggest fan of The Weeknd always. I like The Weeknd, but I've never been like a super stan of him or anything, but I did really like the album. I didn't think it was as cool as his like more pop stuff that I listened to before, but I did like it. So, yeah, I can't complain too much. It's good, I suppose. But I'm not gonna say it's my favorite thing ever. But, yeah, I liked it. Next up is Positions by Ariana Grande. Okay, so here we have the newest album by Ariana Grande. Obviously, this was going to make my honorable mentions because I love Ariana. This is another album that felt like a really chill quarantine album. There's some really standout tracks. You got, obviously, songs like Positions. You got some really chill songs on here like My Hair. I love Nasty. My favorite song on the album is Safety Net with Ty Dolla $ign. I really like just a lot of the songs. Obviously, it's a nice one. POV is a really pretty song. And I just really like listening to this album. It's really chill. It's a nice thing to put on. I don't think this, like, it doesn't hype me up or anything, which, you know, I was looking for some more energetic stuff this year, but I did still enjoy this, and it's definitely a solid project. So, that's all I have to say about that. The Album by BLACKPINK. Okay, so here we go with BLACKPINK's album, and I liked this a lot. My biggest problem with the album is that there's tracks that are filler, and it's only an 8-track album. We had singles, we had collabs I didn't like. I really didn't like Bet You Wanna and Ice Cream, and How You Like That was just a single I'd already heard. So there's really only about 5 tracks worth of new content on here, so I think this would have played a lot better as an EP. Had this been an EP, it would have been one of my favorites of the year, but as it stands as an album, I really don't like the flow of it, and there's a lot of songs that just feel like filler I don't really like. So that's my verdict on the album. I do still like it, but I'm only ever really going to listen to about 5 songs off this, so yeah. That's all I can really say about the album. Dystopia, Tree of Language by Dreamcatcher. Okay, so here we have Dreamcatcher, one of my favorite groups. My biggest problem with Dreamcatcher's albums is I don't find them to be the most cohesive as projects. But all the songs here are really good. I liked this album a lot. I will say one song that really grew on me really strongly since my review was Black or White. I wasn't so keen on it when I reviewed this, but I really like the song now. It really grew on me. But in terms of other songs on this album that are great, of course, Jazz Bar, Red Sun, Tension, I Could Go On, In the Frozen, Full Moon, and Paradise is a bonus track. They're all really fantastic. I really like this title track, Scream, and another song that I'm still not the biggest fan of is Sahara, but it's alright. There aren't really any bad songs on here, just a couple that I find to be a little more forgettable. Something like Daybreak. We already have Jazz Bar. Daybreak just kind of filler to me. And there's an outro track and intro track. But as far as this goes, I did really like this. Dreamcatcher, for a full-length debut album, I did really enjoy it. And they always make quality work, so I'm happy to see them doing well. With at least having a lot of international fans. Can we please get them a fucking win? This is screwed up, you know. Bad Karma by Gabby. Gabby Hanna's EP, Bad Karma, we have it here, and I really enjoyed this. It's a collection of 5 songs. I liked all the songs. I thought Happy was a little bit cheesy, but it was a nice song for her boyfriend. But the rest of the songs on this album are really good. Special is a really interesting exploration of self-loathing and self-doubt. It's a really interesting song. Dandelion, of course, she released that as a single, was fucking fantastic. I really love that song. It's still one of my favorite songs by her. Glass House is a great opener of this great elements, and of course, Bad Karma, the title track, I really like that as well. So yeah, this was a good, solid project from Gabby. I think as an EP, this is more cohesive and stronger than her first EP, and I can't wait till she releases her full-length album. So, check this out. Manic by... 'Cause it's 3 a.m. and I'm calling everybody that I know. This probably was the first album I heard in the year before all of this quarantine stuff started, and all I can really say about this album is it's not cohesive. There's a lot of songs that I think are filler. Even the standard album runs really long for me. I mean, there's a deluxe version with some different version of songs stuff, but even the standard album runs a bit long. And some of the songs just really feel forgettable to me. There's some cool interludes in here. There's one by Alanis Morissette, one by Suga, and one by Dominic Fike, so that's cool. But overall, some of the songs are kind of eh. I'm just going listening to something like Ashley, and a lot of songs I don't remember on here. But you got some really great cuts like More. It's a really heartbreaking song. Then, of course, you've got songs on here. The singles, you've got songs like 3 a.m. Another song I really didn't like that was on here was Without Me. Obviously, it was a huge single last year, and I'm not saying the song is bad, but it really didn't fit into this album, I thought. It just kind of felt like an old song that they put on the album for the single potential. Songs I don't really remember. Again, I feel like it runs a bit long. There definitely could have been some fat trimmed here. However, I did really like Halsey going for a more personal direction of her writing, so I definitely appreciate this one. I enjoyed it. What can I really say? Maria by Now, this is a debut EP from Hwasa from Mamamoo. It's her debut solo EP, and I reviewed this a while back, and I really liked this. I talked about really liking the project, and god dang, it's my fucking thing fell, but you get the point. I talked about really liking this project. I mainly said that I liked it because, Hwasa's a great singer, and she puts a lot of dynamic stuff into her performances. That I really liked all the songs in here. Kidding is still my least favorite song, but I definitely grew on me. I'm Bad Too is a great little Latin flair. The intro is really cool. LMM is an absolutely fantastic ballad, and of course the title track, Maria, I fucking loved it. One of my favorite songs of the year. So, yeah, this was a really good debut project from Hwasa. Even though it was only 18 minutes, I really liked the album. It's really good. Check it out. Kai by Kai. So, yeah, I don't really review albums all that often, but this was a project that I listened to. This is a debut solo EP by Kai from EXO. So, yeah, I did listen to this recently, and I really like it. It's a lot of really smooth R&B. It's just got a really cool vibe to it, and I thought all the songs were solid. I don't really have much else to say about it. It's just a good listen. So if you're into R&B, and if you're into that sort of stuff, go ahead and check this out. It's good. Folklore / Evermore by Taylor Swift. I knew you, dancing in your Levi's, drunk under a street light. So here we are with Taylor Swift, and she released 2 projects this year, and they're both bloated to hell and back. The reason I can't recommend these as being my favorite albums of the year is because, while there's some great standout tracks on both records, I felt like they both run way too long, and there's too many songs that are just darn forgettable to me. But yeah, there's a lot of great tracks on these 2 albums. From Folklore, I really like the one Cardigan, Last Great American Dynasty, Exile, My Tears Ricochet, August, and This Is Me Trying, and Betty. And on Evermore, I really liked a lot of the songs as well. I really liked Champagne Problems, 'Tis the Damn Season, and Nobody No Crime off this album. I also thought Marjorie was a good song, and Evermore was a nice closing track, so yeah, I really liked these 2 projects. I just think overall, they both run over an hour, and they're just kind of slow and a bit much of a pace to get through. But that said, we got some great tracks off these records, including Exile, which might be one of her best songs ever. So yeah, props there. Props are due. And I gotta give Taylor Swift credit for that. The Dream Chapter, Eternity by TXT. Group called TXT, or Tomorrow by Together. That's their proper name. You might have heard of these guys mainly because they are quote-unquote the younger brothers of BTS. They're under the same agency, and they did release a couple projects this year. This was the first one, the end of their Dream Chapter trilogy, an EP called Eternity with 6 songs on it, and I really loved this. Genuinely, this was close to making a list. I really thought it was great. You've got cuts like Maze in the Mirror, which are nice. Fairy Shampoo is just a nice jazzy track. Drama is a fun opening with some great piano kick. Can't You See Me and Puma are both great singles with some real kick to them, and they've got some great vibes. Eternally is a great closing track as well. It feels very epic and keeps changing pace. These boys have a lot of charisma and talent, and I can see them going places. They're already quite successful. So yeah, definitely check this project out, and check out their new EP as well. They're a good group. I recommend them. Anyway, that's all there is for that. Let's move on to the proper list now. Number 5. It's Me by ITZY. Okay, so here we are with something that teenage girls like. Oh, society! I'm sorry, I had to do that at least once. But, okay, now that I'm no longer a teenage girl, this is still on my list because it's just damn good. And here's the thing about ITZY. I can see a lot of people not liking them or finding them abrasive and annoying, but that's not me at all. I definitely love their charisma and charm. They have a lot of it. And they're super confident, and their confidence is genuinely infectious. I really wanted to listen to ITZY songs as a confidence boost when I was applying for a job. That's how much I love them. And out of the 2 projects they released this year, It's Me and Not Shy, I definitely preferred It's Me. You could say this was the final project in a trilogy as well, and it was by far the best thing they had put out at the time. Wanna Be still being their best single, but literally every song in this album is great, except for 24 Hours, the closing. I'm not a fan of that one, but I Don't Wanna Dance is one of the weaker songs, but I still like it. But the first 5 songs on this album are great. You Make Me's really underrated. Nobody Like You is a great pop rock love song. And Tang Tang Tang, Wannabe, That's a No-No are all bops. This album is pretty cool. I definitely feel like people are going down to the demographic, whereas the youngest member of ITZY is about 16, and you were looking at a situation where they're, you know, all in that age range, probably up to like 19. Whereas they're definitely aiming at tweens. I would say that a group like BLACKPINK debuting at 20, they were aiming at slightly older teens. So the point is that people tend to aim down to their age. Adult will write young adult fiction, etc. And that's kind of where we go with this. And this is why you could say this is accessible and aiming down to a younger demographic, but as someone who's not in the necessarily target demographic for ITZY's music, I can definitely say I like it more. And Twice has definitely outgrown their old sound, and I do like their new stuff a lot more, but it still doesn't click with me as much as some of the other stuff. So ITZY has really done it for me, and I can definitely see them being the next big thing, especially if / when BLACKPINK disbands. They could be absolutely huge. They're already super successful. They already have a ton of international fans, and they're from a large agency as well, so I can see so much potential for these girls. But I really liked this album. I'm glad this was an EP and not a full-length album, because it was a really compact project where every song felt like it belonged there. But I do want to see them try a full-length album one of these days. I wish that JYP would realize that and let them release a full-length album. But anyway, I do really like this, and definitely check out ITZY if you're curious. That's all I can really say about that. Number 4, Confetti by Little Mix. Little Mix, and I am just coming off the news of Jessie leaving the group, which is kind of a shame considering they've been a quartet for 8 years. Now, of course, I wish the best for her and her mental health and all that, but I do kind of wonder how this group is going to sound as a trio in the future. But yes, but this is their last album with 4 members, and it's called Confetti, and I really liked this a lot. I remember liking LM5 when it came out and being ashamed of liking LM5 for some reason, because I was a weird person who was too afraid to admit my music taste to the internet. But here we are with Confetti, and I heard a couple of the singles, mainly Holiday when it dropped. I did like that song, but I kept hearing buzz about Little Mix, and I decided to check out their album, and I really liked it. This is exactly the kind of upbeat, encouraging kind of pop I wanted to be hearing, and I do really like pop albums. I like girl groups, and I am a fan of Little Mix. Just there's a lot of great tracks here. Stuff like Breakup Song and Holiday and Sweet Melody was a song that really grew on me from my first listen. Of course, you've got the title track Confetti, and Happiness is a fantastic single, not a pop song as well. And you got some great B-side tracks in here, like Nothing But My Feelings, A Mess Happy For You. My Love Won't Let You Down is a really nice ballad. Breathe is a great closing track, and If You Want My Love is nice as well. I really love Rendezvous and Gloves Up. Those are two of my favorite tracks on the album. So yeah, definitely check this out if you're into this type of thing. I really like Little Mix, and I wish more people were making pop music like this nowadays. It feels like everything is so downbeat and depressing. But yeah, I do like them, and I do like this record. Number 3, Plastic Hearts by Miley Cyrus. Oh boy, here we go. So here's the bit of a confession I have to make, as I'm not really much of an album listener these days. I used to be a pretty big album listener, but I have never listened to a Miley Cyrus album from front to back until now. And I'm not really sure why this is. I mean, I've always liked her stuff. I thought her old Disney stuff was pretty decent. I really liked the song Can't Be Tamed, and then she released her Bangers album. That was certainly an interesting project. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I mean, the songs I heard were mostly okay. Then Miley Cyrus and Her Dad's Pets, didn't listen to that either. And then Younger Now came out. I did listen to that one a bit. It was a bit country for my taste. I wasn't really digging it, although I do really like the title track. So I never sat down and listened to a Miley Cyrus album back to front. It never really occurred to me to do so. But this album made me want to listen to it. I was so blown away with the lead-off single Midnight Sky. I loved it so much. And then I heard her cover of Heart of Glass. And then I heard her song with Dua Lipa, Prisoner. And I was super hyped. So yeah, I was super hyped to check out this project. And here we are, and oh my god, does this deliver. Miley Cyrus is blending so many genres here, mainly country, rock, and pop, and blending a lot of 80s influences in here to the point where you've got features like Joan Jett, Billy Idol, and of course Dua Lipa, I already mentioned. But yeah, it's fucking fantastic. Also, you got some bonus tracks on here, which are her covers of Heart of Glass and Zombie, as well as Edge of Midnight, which is an amazing official remix between Midnight Sky and Stevie Nicks' Edge of 17. I can't believe this is an official thing that happened, and it's awesome. And yes, I've been a fan of Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks for years, so it's super awesome to see this. But yeah, you got some really great cuts on here. I think Nightcrawling with Billy Idol is great. Songs like High, I really like songs like Hate Me as well. It's bitter and it feels good. The singles, like I said, Prisoner are great. I love the opening track, WTF Do I Know, and Plastic Hearts is a great title track as well, Angels Like You. I really love this album. It's hard to explain. I really wasn't expecting this, but oh man. With some of the slower cuts, we get a little more country influences, and I just really love the vibe and the direction that Miley took of this. She's taking so many influences from the early 80s and the women of rock, from people like Joan Jett or Stevie Nicks or Blondie, and I really love this sound for her. And I knew that Miley Cyrus had potential to make really cool music like this if she would just lean into it. I love what I'm hearing. So yeah, great album. I love you, Miley. And speaking of Dua Lipa, number 2, Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa. Baby, let me take you for a ride. Yeah. Okay, so here we are with Dua Lipa. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't even have anything to say about this, really. It's just pop perfection. Everything about Dua Lipa's Future Nostalgia is awesome. And man, am I glad that this song exists. I don't really know how else to explain that this song and album, I was so blown away with the singles again. Don't you think that was a good solid single? And I really grew to love Future Nostalgia. But it was songs like Physical and Break My Heart that really sold me. You've got tracks like Levitate, Hallucinate, Love Again on here. Oh my god, they're so good! Then of course at the end we have Boys Will Be Boys, which is a really great commentary on what it's like to be a woman in society. And other tracks on here which are a little bit weaker but still really solid. You got songs like Cool and Pretty Please and Good in Bed. I really like all of them. There isn't a single bad song on this album. This one runs a bit short, but not a single second of it is wasted. Everything about Dua Lipa and everything she's released is just amazing. She really made everything fantastic. She used such inspired choices of samples throughout this album, and the entire album just feels fantastic, cohesive, and an absolute joy. I know this was released before the pandemic, but the fact that we had this album to accompany us during the pandemic was freaking great. I'm so glad that Dua released this when she did. It's so great to have happy, nice pop music to listen to, and at the end of the day, that's really what I wanted this year. I love this from Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa is an absolute queen. Number 1. Taemin, Never Gonna Dance Again, Act 1 and Act 2. Hi! Welcome to my channel! Okay, no, but for real, yes, I love talking about things that I like. Yes, yes. I made an entire 40-minute video where I just talked about my thoughts on this record, and it is technically 2 albums. However, they're both part of his 3rd album project. He released them together as part of a project, so they're clearly supposed to be connected. Even the way the music video cycled between the acts, how he released 2 Kids as the prologue and Think of You as the last music video. They were both shot in Paris. 2 Kids is extremely sad, a cathartic kind of video. You've got Think of You, which is very happy, cute, bubbly, and it's such a different tonal shift there. But yeah, this is an absolute masterpiece. Now, I've talked about this all day. I could sit all day talking about Taemin and why I love Taemin, but yeah, I'm here to just say that Taemin is legitimately amazing, and y'all have to listen to his music. No, seriously though. Not only are these my favorite albums of the year, but also some of my favorite songs of the year. I do love every song from these projects, but the particular standouts that I'd recommend you guys check out if you don't listen to K-pop or I guess R&B or whatever, if you just want to jump in and listen to some songs, first of all, please go on YouTube and look up some English lyric videos for the songs, because you will not be disappointed with the writing in these songs. And second of all, the songs that I highly recommend checking out are from Act 1, specifically Black Rose, Waiting For, Clockwork, Nemo, and 2 Kids, and from Act 2, Idea, Heaven, Be Your Enemy, Think of You, Pansy, and Identity. Please listen to these songs, guys. Seriously, every single song here is so fucking great. I don't know how else to explain it. I just can't get over genuinely how great these songs are. And even though Taemin didn't write a lot of the songs himself, he worked with his songwriters to really explain what he wanted to convey in the lyrics. And he wrote 2 Kids himself on a plane. And seriously, his dancing and art is so amazing. This entire project is so artistic. Taemin knew exactly what he wanted to do with his project, and he's been working on it on the back burner for over a year, as songs like Heaven debuted in his live shows over a year ago. So yeah, there really isn't much else to say. This was delayed several times, and I am so glad that it was, because we got such a fucking great project out of it. And I am so insanely happy that Taemin released these songs. I really love him so much, and his projects are great, and obviously was going to be my favorite album of the year. There's not much else to say there. So anyway, guys, that's about it. That wraps up all of my favorite albums of the year. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye!